I have a requirement where I have a customer that has E3 licensing. We only want to use the standard Power Platform licensing. I can build a Canvas app and I can hook it into SharePoint, pretty common solution. I also have a requirement where there are external contractors that are part of this client's AAD, and there's a lot of them, and very periodically they need to come in and fill in some information. So I could go and license them and allow them to do it and create a new role. That's quite a lot of work. So the other thing I can do is I can use a document library, because it's SharePoint properties which hook to Word, which allow me to keep it inside of the document. With this solution, it's quite easy, because all I've got to do is get the external contractors to get access to the Word document, send them the links, they can go in and they can fill them in. So here I have an intranet, which is just a standard team site. And what I've got is a document library that's created by default. And what you can see is that I've gone and created a couple of Word documents, and I'm using a document template to go and create them. And in here I've added 3 extra properties. So I've got an asset name, a category, and a measurement. And what I can do now with that is I can fill in data. So I'm going to open this in Word. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to go and save this, and I'm going to go and save it as a docx file. And normally you do this through a flow. Let's call this Aquaman. Okay. And I save that. Okay, and it doesn't like all the category, all the properties, so I go and say, yep, this is billing. I'm going to say my asset is asset, something like that. It doesn't really matter what it is. My measurement is 10 millimeters. Okay, and I'm going to go and save this as a docx file, and this is going to be Aquaman. Okay, so I close that, give this a little refresh. And you can see my Aquaman document's been saved. I've got the 10 millimeters, the billing, and the Aquaman asset in the properties. In the same way, now I can go and change these. So I'm going to go and change it from billing to whatever one I used, common, and I'm going to go make this Aquaman asset 2. I'll exit the grid. Once again, I go and open it inside of the Word app. When that opens in a second, you'll see the properties get pulled through correctly. We changed it from billing to common. And you can see it's picked up correctly here. It's now common and Aquaman asset 2. So if we close that down, now if we're going to open it in the Office web apps, what it'll do is it'll bring through the document, but you can't go and edit it. So a good idea here would be Azure Information Protection to protect the document in the Office web app version. That's basically how it works. So you can imagine, that we've got this. You now can edit it inside of SharePoint directly, like we just did, and made it Aquaman 2 and change the category. You could go inside of the document and edit it in the document, or you could go inside of something like Power Apps and use like a Canvas app and build a Canvas app that would go and put in these values, and that will automatically go and update the Word document behind it as soon as it's opened. And it's got all the version control in this. So it's a pretty good solution. You can go and amend documents from 3 different areas. You also don't need to go and buy licenses for anybody who's just going to go and work with the document. So quite a useful way for getting around a lot of like the really expensive licensing of something like Canvas apps or Mendix's low code solution. Would have the same. It's pretty expensive per user. So this is a good way to get around that. If you have people with infrequent access, but they have AAD accounts and they're guest accounts with you, so it's definitely a good option.